The Nike Free X Metcon 2 will take you from a short run to your gym workout. Superior breathability and comfort combined with durability and response make this stable trainer perfect for even the most ambitious of fitness goals. Let's see how true that statement is. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So as you can tell by the title, today we are going to be reviewing one of my favorite line of training shoes, and that is going to be the Nike Free X Metcon 2. Also, I'm super stoked because I got a new whole setup, so hopefully it works out well. If it doesn't, let me know, but I'm really excited. Mainly got this stuff for the podcast, but I figured I already have it, so might as well use it in a video. So as you guys know, last year the Nike Free X Metcon came out and I was absolutely in love with it. I still am absolutely in love with this shoe. I think that for the money and being able to run and lift in this shoe, it is probably the best CrossFit shoe, especially new style, that came out last year. The Nano 8 is still, I would say, up there as maybe best all around, but as far as like a specialty shoe and just one that might not be their flagship, you know, because Metcon is their normal flagship, this shoe was awesome and I put a ton of workouts in on this thing. So when I found out that the new one was coming out, obviously I had to get it and I had to try it out, so let's talk about it. So I'm happy to say that a lot of stuff actually stayed the same on the new shoe. The outsole is actually very, very similar to the one from last year. It's a little bit different. The rubber pieces are these little like hexagon shapes, but honestly they did not change that much. It still is obviously the Nike Free material, so it is very, very bendy. That is the scientific term for that, but they're very nice to wear. They feel very similar to what they did last year. So there's basically like two different types of material on the outsole. So again, you have the Nike Free material, which is going to be very bendy and very nice, and it's going to be soft and it's going to be nice to run in. Then there's going to be portions that are the harder rubber that are obviously going to be more stable for lifting. Here in the middle of the foot, it has like this midfoot shank, I guess you could call it, but it's just a very thick rubber, a very stable rubber. So you can bend the shoe, but the middle of the shoe is not going to be bending at all. And then here at the heel, you have that same rubber. Again, you want that stability for when you are lifting. And then moving up to the upper is actually very similar to what it was last year. It has like that I don't even know what to call it. It's like a mesh that has like almost like a rubber coating on top of it. And then it has this neoprene like sleeve. Last year it was just one piece, but this time there's actually like a little hole, as you can see right there in the shoe, where it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's still, I guess it's not technically one piece, but I'm surprised that they changed that up so much. But again, it's still very similar materials. This part right here that's going to be, you know, where you're going to be sliding your foot into is still that same like neoprene type material. One of the most noticeable changes that I saw from last year's model is this little cage that they have here at the top of the shoe. They moved that to the middle of the shoe. And what I saw on the website is that they're saying that that's supposed to be helping with like getting a more secure fit. But I know for me, I have a wide foot, and honestly, like, this shoe doesn't need laces for me to wear them, because that, like, my foot's wide enough to where I put it in there and it is snug. It doesn't, like, I have it laced pretty loose because I don't need it to be any tighter. So they say it's supposed to help with, you know, with lockdown and feeling more secure. Maybe if you have a lot more narrow of a foot, that might be true. But for me, with someone with a wide foot, I don't really notice that much of a difference. Some of the biggest changes and most noticeable changes that I saw in the shoe is going to be the heel counter. So on the first version, the heel counter was kind of, I mean, it's good, it works well, but it wasn't super beefy. You see at the back of this, it's pretty flexible. This year, they have added like extra padding around the heel counter here. It just seems like the whole heel area is a lot more secure, and you can feel that when you put your foot in there. Now, the other big difference that this one is kind of annoying to me, honestly, is that as you can see, the opening of the shoe is a lot smaller in this year's model. And I remember when this shoe came out, I was so excited because normally when shoes are, you know, like one piece, like the Nike Metcon, the Flyknit ones, those ones I can't even wear because I cannot get my foot into them because they're like that sock-like material. So when these came out, I was kind of worried, but I remember I was able to get my feet in. If you guys saw my review from last year, that was one of the things I was most excited about. So when I saw that these were a significant smaller opening, I was kind of bummed out about it. It is definitely a lot harder to get your foot into this shoe, at least for me, because I have like wide ankles, I guess. But once you do get your foot in there, it's actually pretty comfortable. And honestly, like it does open pretty easily. It's definitely noticeably a lot tighter. As far as durability is concerned, I've only done a couple workouts in the new Metcon, but I probably did the most workouts in this shoe last year out of any of the other shoes. That's how much I liked it. And they're surprisingly have held up pretty well. I was nervous because obviously the free material is not known for its durability, but it has lasted. It's worked well. I remember in my initial review, I said I wouldn't be doing much toes to bar in them, but I've actually done tons of toes to bar and I haven't had any issues with the mesh or anything like that. And considering the build and everything with that part of the shoe, the very, where your toe is, it hasn't really changed very much. So I'm going to say that these are probably going to be just as durable as the previous year's model, and that one did absolutely fine by me. Will I be doing any rope climbs in these shoes? The answer is going to be no. I honestly, it's just not worth like ripping up the shoe because the material that they have over the mesh, they say it's supposed to help with rope climbs. They actually even say that the fact that the rubber comes up over and then they have this midfoot cage here is supposed to help with rope climbs. But for me, it's just not even worth trying that out. I have some old shoes that I'll use on a rope climb day because it's not like I'm doing rope climbs all that often. So for me, I'm just not going to be doing rope climbs in these shoes. Another little difference that was kind of a bother for me was that they took this little tab off, because on the first one it was nice when you would get your shoe on, you could just open that up really easy. That's not there anymore, so you kind of have to just grab the actual tongue and open it up. It's a small discrepancy, but it is something that I'm kind of bummed that they got rid of. Now, as far as price, obviously, with the new one coming out, the other one is going to be cheaper now. So these are retailing for $120, but now you can find the Metcon 1, the Free X Metcon 1s for $72. $72 on Nike.com. So it's always nice when a new shoe comes out because now the old model, which is only a year old, is now significantly cheaper. So that's nice. Another thing that I noticed they did change was on last year's model, they had this little heel clip that's supposed to be good for like handstand stuff, like handstand push-ups when you're up against the wall. Honestly, so they took that out in this year's model. I've always kind of felt like that was kind of gimmicky, so it doesn't bother me at all. So if you're someone that really wants that heel clip, you're not gonna be getting it in the new model. As far as performance is concerned, I took these straight out the box and did a workout in them and they felt fine. I'm honestly really surprised. I'm really happy with how I love this model of shoe, right? I love the ones from last year. I love these ones. One of the biggest issues that I have with CrossFit shoes is usually that they're great to lift in, but when you want to go to run in them, they're just not that great. The Nano 8 is a great mixture of both of those, but I honestly, I like how these look a lot more. Obviously, that's going to be subjective to everyone. There was a big hoopla over how these looked. I think they look cool. Everyone's different, but I like how these look more. I've never been someone that would want to walk around outside in Nanos. With these, I don't feel as silly because they just look like a regular training shoe. So that's really nice. And then they're meant for running, and running in these shoes is really nice. Like I could see myself even running like a 5K in these. I wouldn't want to run anything more than that in these, but whenever there's any type of running in a workout, this is always the shoe I'm going to grab. And then with the flexibility of the Free, it's just nice when you're doing like burpees where your foot's coming onto the ground and it just flexes really nice and it feels really natural, honestly. That's what I really like about the Free material. It feels really natural when you are doing those different movements. So final verdict, would I recommend these shoes? Yes and no. So if you're somebody that just likes the new shoes and maybe you've had these in the past, the previous model, then yeah, I would say go for it. If it's something that you want to try them out and you think that you'd like them, then yeah, I would say 100%. But the fact that these shoes right here are only $72 now, the first iteration, and you're like looking for a shoe that's good for running, I would say just go with the original ones. The amount that they've upgraded in these just is not enough for me personally. And again, these are just as durable. These are going to last you a good amount of time. So if you're worried about saving money, I would 100% still recommend the first version. But if money's not an issue, or you're just somebody that loves training shoes and buys them too frequently, like yours truly, then I would 100% recommend giving these a shot. Again, they are probably my favorite family of training shoes on the market now. Nike actually just released the Metcon Sport, which is very similar to these shoes. There's no laces at all. I'm kind of curious if you guys would like me to review those because I saw them in the store. I've normally not much of a fan of shoes that don't have laces. For me, they just look like you're wearing socks, but I would totally review them if you guys want me to do that. But again, I hope you guys like the review. Hopefully you guys check these out, and or if you already have some of the shoes, let me know what you think. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.